Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today we have a nice, simple, easy one. We are going to take paper and make it even better. So it is more so when you're looking through these gorgeous paper pads here. I have the simple vintage spring garden, and this one is one of my favorites. You can see it doesn't have many pieces of paper left in it, but it is absolutely beautiful. And I have been eyeing up this butterfly, well, actually a couple of them in here, to take this and make it even better, because I had all these ideas about what we can do. Now, it doesn't have to be a butterfly. It could be a flower, it could be an image, it could just be a stamp that you have that you could follow some of the lines that you want to enhance, or just add a little bit more to them. So in this paper pad, this is the piece here, all three of these butterflies, and luckily in these paper pads there are 2 or 3 sheets of each kind. So I knew that even though I'd already used one, I still had one available and ready to go, and I had kept it up here because I couldn't handle cutting into it the first time. Now, honestly, I can picture even just cutting this out, trim it up a tiny little bit. You could fussy cut it, or you could just trim it a little bit, and this would make a stunning card front. But we want to do a little more this time, just to add a teensy bit more to it. So all of these gorgeous veins on here gave me the idea that we could add something. Now, I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Now, I know that I don't have the fine tip. I find it hard to fork out more money for an even finer tip, so I'm happy using the one as is. But if you have the fine tip, this will be even easier. Now, the catch here is that this glue does dry really fast, so you can either add embossing powder or glitter or something like that, and we are going to enhance these little veins. Now, as I said, this glue dries fast, so I am just going to do one single wing at a time, and then I am going to add in my embossing powder. Now, I'm going to use a gold. I think that would go nicely with the pink in the background. As I said, remember, this doesn't have to be a butterfly. This could be any image that you are tracing the lines of. I also think doing some petals and things like that on flowers would look stunning. Doing it on the wing of a bird or something like that would look gorgeous, or doing it on the branches of a tree, like even a Christmas tree or something, would look gorgeous. So many different options. I have just been eyeing up this butterfly forever. Now, if you don't have the art glitter glue, any liquid glue, of course, is going to work. If you wanted to do a Dries tacky glue, and I know that there is one of the Mono Tombow one that does that. There's the Smart Glue from scrapbook.com, all of those ones that dry tacky. Then you could do this with foil, and then you would let the glue dry. Obviously, it dries tacky, it dries sticky, and then you can add the foil on top. So this glue is not going to dry tacky. It dries nice and clear and you can't see it. So that is not going to work with foil, but you can obviously get the tacky glues. But this one, I would suggest either glitter or embossing powder. Now, I waited a couple of minutes until the glue was dry underneath. Otherwise, you will get a little bit of bubbling if you add your heat gun straight to it. But I think it's a little bit hard to catch on camera, but this is just shiny and gorgeous, and those veins just really pop now without taking over the image. So I really enjoyed this one. Now, as I said, with this video, we want to take some paper and make it even more fabulous. So I am going to add some shimmer spray. I'm using the Altenew Iridescent shimmer spray, and that has really added another layer to this. Now, I mentioned in another video earlier that I had tested so many shimmer sprays in the last few months, trying to find what I like. Now, my absolute favorite is the Earless Misters from Cosmic Shimmer. They are fabulous. I've used those in lots of other videos, but I will say that this Altenew one, the iridescent one, this is really good. It still has the pipe that goes down the center of it, and that can get clogged. The Earless Mister ones just don't seem to get clogged because they don't have that pipe that goes down the center, the little straw that often gets clogged with mica and all those good things. So the Earless Misters are my absolute favorite, but this Altenew one is beautiful. I do like the shimmer of this one. Even though I have my favorites, I will say the Altenew one is definitely still good. I will say I mainly judge them, personally of course, on the colour that came out, the spray pattern that came out, the ease of use, the ease of shaking up the product, all those good things, and how much shimmer they resulted in when they were dry and all those things. But it does matter that that they're also a great product and they are going to have longevity as well. Now, let's get to creating this card. I want to create a bit of background for it, so I've just taken some more pattern paper. If you don't have the postage stamp dies, which are very popular at the moment, this is my go-to way of creating them. I just have a single hole punch here, and I just do a half hole punch all the way around the outside, and this ends up looking a little bit like a postage stamp die. Well, it does to me anyway, and I think this is a really good way because that means that you don't have to have a specific shape die. You can make absolutely a custom size. You can make a circle, you can make squares, rectangles, triangles, all those good things, and create your own postage stamp. Now, this is sort of what I was looking at. I mean, I can't copy this because I don't have the things for it, but I'm trying to layer up a couple of items. So I'm going to take this Tim Holtz stamp here, just a little bit of text or script or something like that, and I'm going to stamp this on another piece of scrap that came out of that same paper pad. Now remember, if you use the papers from the same paper pad, the likelihood is that they are going to match pretty well. They're all going to coordinate and nothing is going to be too out there. So I stamped this down. I stamped it in some Distress Oxide Vintage Photo, and I didn't try and ink it up fully. I tried to make it a little lighter. You can see I actually inked up a couple up there, and I'm going to use those in a different project. I have a little lace trim border from the Lacy Edges die set. I will include all of these in the description box down below. But basically, it's about going through your scraps, seeing what you can find. I'm sure that you might have some real lace or real fabric that you could also use. Now, I was testing out, I didn't know if I liked that yellow ticket that I made, so I did it on this little wood grain piece, and I quite like that as well. Again, I could go for gold and create lots of these little things. It's sort of like ephemera, I guess, creating little pieces of ephemera, and I thought that could also match. I'm going to go around the edges with the Vintage Photo as well, just to sort of, give it that little edgy border. And then I also have a little die cut. This was actually die cut from a masterboard that I created using up a whole lot of scraps, and I have a video on how I did that as well. And then I think I like the look of all of this. Everything coordinates nicely. It's all from the same paper pad except for the leaf up the top. And I'm just going to layer up some of these gorgeous items, but I most importantly wanted the butterfly to stand out. So I'm going to use a little bit of foam tape behind the wings, and only the wings. I'm going to leave the center, and I will pop some liquid glue there so that that bit sort of goes straight down onto the card, and the wings will pop up just a little bit. Not too much. I only used a little bit of foam tape, but just a little bit of dimension there. Now I am going to have to cut off one of these wings, and I was okay with that. That's absolutely fine. I did peel up the wing a little bit to fit the foliage in behind there, but yeah, just a little sort of gathering of all different things. I cut off this. It's a little bit sad, I know, but it's going to be okay. I had a really nice time playing in my craft space, creating some of these extra little bits and pieces. And then to finish this off, I'm going to go to one of my favorite little sticker books. This one, just a simple happy birthday to go up the top. This is from Violet Studio. And again, this is a cheap and cheerful. It was $2 and some change. And it is good quality and has heaps and heaps of stickers in it. So thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, where we took some paper, some pattern paper, and we made it even better. Just these little details. That butterfly is gorgeous. I am looking forward to seeing you in the next